The Burj Khalifa needs 500 sewage trucks every day. Every single day. Because the world's tallest building is not connected to Dubai's main sewage network. That is not a rumor. It is a documented operational fact, and it is only the beginning. The facade has 26,000 cladding elements that are accumulating material fatigue. The 36 automated cleaning units cannot reach every section. The resale market is declining, and if something goes seriously wrong, the building cannot be demolished. It is surrounded by $1 billion of infrastructure that cannot be moved. This video is about what those facts actually mean and what they don't. Let's start with the most visceral detail. The Burj Khalifa produces approximately 15 tons of sewage per day. That waste is collected and trucked away, estimated at over 500 tanker truck trips daily, because the building was constructed before the local sewage infrastructure could handle a structure of this scale. This is real. It has been confirmed by multiple sources since the building opened in 2010. It is one of the most frequently cited examples of what goes wrong when a building outpaces its surrounding infrastructure. But here is what the coverage of this fact consistently misses. The sewage truck situation was a known issue at completion, not a surprise failure. The Burj Khalifa's developer, MAR, was aware that the local network could not accommodate the load. The trucks were the solution while the infrastructure was being upgraded. Dubai's sewage network has been expanding continuously since 2010. The question of whether the Burj Khalifa is now, or will soon be, connected to the main network is one that Dubai Unfiltered does not answer in its video. It presents the truck figure as a present tense operational crisis. The more accurate framing, it is a present tense operational cost. A cost that was anticipated. A cost that is being managed. That is not the same as a crisis. It is expensive, it is logistically complex, and it is a legitimate concern for the long-term economics of operating the building. But 500 trucks per day is not evidence that the building is failing. It is evidence that the building was built faster than the surrounding infrastructure. The question worth asking is not how many trucks, but what is the timeline for connecting to the network? And neither EMAR nor Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority has published a public answer to that question. That absence is the real story, not the trucks. The Burj Khalifa's exterior consists of approximately 26,000 glass and aluminum cladding panels, a curved, tapering skin that covers 120,000 square meters of surface area. Dubai Unfiltered describes these panels as accumulating material fatigue. That claim deserves examination. Material fatigue in facade panels is real. Glass and aluminum expand in heat and contract in cold. Dubai's thermal cycle, from 53 degrees Celsius in summer to below 15 at night in winter, is extreme by the standards of most cities where supertalls are built. Over 15 years of daily thermal cycling, the connections between panels, the sealants, and the structural attachments that hold the facade to the building's frame all undergo stress that accumulates over time. The Burj Khalifa's facade was designed for this environment. The panels are double glazed with reflective coatings specifically selected for Dubai's solar gain. The structural attachments were engineered for the thermal expansion rates expected over the building's design life. But the Burj Khalifa is 15 years old. The design life for most super tall facades is 25 to 50 years before significant replacement becomes necessary. The building is in the middle third of the period before a facade replacement would typically be required. The 36 automated cleaning units, the robotic window washers, are a separate issue. They cannot access every section of the curved, tapering surface because the geometry changes at every level. Manual cleaning teams supplement the automated systems in sections the robots cannot reach. This is a maintenance complexity, not a structural failure. It adds operational cost. It requires more human access than a conventional rectangular building would. But it does not mean the facade is failing. It means the facade is difficult to maintain at the scale and geometry of the world's tallest building. The distinction between expensive to maintain and failing matters. Here is where the Burj Khalifa story gets more interesting than the maintenance details. Because the building's real long-term challenge is not the sewage trucks or the cladding panels. It is the resale market. And what the resale market tells you about buildings like this applies far beyond the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa's residential market has not performed as the original buyers expected. Units in the Burj Khalifa that were purchased at launch prices, some of the highest per square meter prices ever achieved in Dubai at the time, have not appreciated at the rate of Dubai's broader luxury market. The building's cachet, being the world's tallest, attracted a premium in 2010 that the market has not consistently sustained. The reasons are practical. The service charges on a Burj Khalifa unit are among the highest in Dubai, partly because of the maintenance complexity, partly because of the sewage logistics, partly because of the energy costs of running 36 automated cleaning units and an elevator system that requires more power than a small city block. High service charges reduce net yield. Reduced yield reduces investment attractiveness. Reduced investment attractiveness applies downward pressure on resale values. This is a real dynamic. It is documented in the transaction data that Dubai's Real Estate Regulatory Agency publishes. The Burj Khalifa is not collapsing, but it is not the investment that many early buyers expected. Here is the broader point this raises. The Burj Khalifa's maintenance costs are high because the building is genuinely extraordinary. The height, the geometry, the engineering. Every complexity that was added to make it the world's tallest building adds to the long-term cost of operating it. Now apply that logic to the buildings around it. The buildings in Dubai that lack the Burj Khalifa's engineered protection systems, the cathodic protection, the triple blend concrete, the published monitoring program, are not facing the Burj Khalifa's maintenance costs. They are facing different maintenance costs. The cost of corrosion that was not protected against, of foundation behavior that was not monitored, of facade systems that were specified to the minimum required rather than the maximum prudent. The Burj Khalifa's maintenance costs are the price of extraordinary ambition. The maintenance costs of the buildings around it, when they arrive, will be the price of inadequate preparation. Dubai Unfiltered's title claim that Dubai can't fix the Burj Khalifa and can't tear it down is most interesting when it comes to demolition. The claim that the Burj Khalifa cannot be demolished is structurally accurate, not because of any inherent property of the building, but because of what surrounds it. The Dubai Fountain, the world's largest choreographed fountain, sits in the Burj Khalifa lake directly adjacent to the tower. The Dubai Mall, one of the largest shopping malls on Earth, is connected to the base of the Burj Khalifa by a bridge and shares its podium infrastructure. The surrounding MR Boulevard development is built around the tower as its centerpiece. Demolishing the Burj Khalifa would require either demolishing or protecting all of that surrounding infrastructure simultaneously. The logistics, the blast zones, the debris management, the foundation isolation, in a live urban environment of that density are genuinely extraordinary. But here is the framing that Dubai Unfiltered's title misses. No super tall anywhere in the world has been demolished, not one. The Empire State Building is 95 years old. The Chrysler Building is 96. They are maintained, refurbished, and operated. The concept of demolishing them is not seriously discussed because the economics of maintaining them, even at significant cost, are better than the economics and logistics of removal. The Burj Khalifa is 15 years old. The question of demolition is not a present tense concern. It is a hypothetical that the video uses to create urgency where the actual situation is: an expensive, complex building with real operational challenges and a declining residential investment return. That is the accurate framing. Not it can't be fixed and can't be torn down, but it is more expensive to operate than its original investors anticipated. Its residential market has underperformed, and its long-term economics are a legitimate question that Emaar has not publicly addressed. The Burj Khalifa's real story is not about sewage trucks or cracking cladding or demolition impossibility. It is about what happens when a building that was engineered to extraordinary standards still generates extraordinary operational costs, and what that implies for the buildings around it that were not engineered to the same standard. The cathodic protection running through the Burj Khalifa's foundation costs money to maintain. The monitoring program that tracks the foundation's performance costs money. The facade cleaning system that cannot reach every panel costs money. The sewage logistics cost money. These are the costs of a building that was designed to last 100 years in Dubai's environment. The three protection systems in the foundation, the specialized concrete mix, the engineering documentation, all of it was designed knowing that the costs would be significant. Now consider the 150 towers built in Dubai between 2000 and 2020 on the same sabka, in the same corrosive groundwater, without equivalent engineering. They do not have the Burj Khalifa's maintenance costs, They have different ones, lower now, potentially much higher later, when the corrosion that was not protected against has progressed far enough to become visible. The Burj Khalifa cannot be fixed and cannot be torn down, according to Dubai Unfiltered. That framing is more interesting applied to the buildings that cannot yet be seen to be failing, the ones where the corrosion is inside the concrete, invisible, progressing at the rate that Dubai's coastal groundwater permits. Those buildings also cannot be fixed once the damage is done, and they also cannot be torn down in a dense urban environment. The Burj Khalifa's problems are expensive and visible. The problems in the buildings around it are cheap and invisible, until they aren't. Drop it below. Would you buy a unit in the Burj Khalifa today? See you in the next one.